Hello Taurus, welcome to your Plant Ally Spirit card for the month of March. If you can hear purring, it's because a small floofy person, aka Daisy, is just off camera and she's decided to come join for your reading, so that's exciting. So what plant spirit are we looking at for you guys from the Maya Toll Illustrated Herbarium? We are looking at rosemary. Right, let's zoom in. Oh, this is a really nice card. Remembrance. Bit more. Right, I'm going to show it you from the book because the book's bigger and more beautiful. And you can get a really good look. Look at those crow wings. Are we feeling that? Look at that red thread of fate going on. Wow, that's a really interesting card for you guys. Really, really interesting. I like it. And we can talk about what I feel about rosemary as well once we've had a look at what Maya has to say. So don't forget to check out your moon rising sign for a full rounded reading for the month of March. So rosemary is the smell of déjà vu and the afterbreath of nostalgia. That's some beautiful wording, I like that. Her gift is the faint scent that teases and vanishes, leaving you longing for something you can't quite name, with memories that crest and crash, pulling you gasping into their undertow. In Victorian times, rosemary was said to say, "Remember me," but this is a small part of her magic. Rosemary can ease remembrance, softening sharp edges, or she can dredge the distant past, pulling on your DNA to bring forward the longings of lineage. Crush the leaves, hold them to your nose. The past is encoded into our cellular memory. Rosemary whispers, sink into the knowledge that lives in your bones. Let memory rise up from the body of your being. Oh gosh, that's beautiful. Okay, I'm over the moon for you, Taurus, because the energies here are things that I have been talking about on Patreons in a lot of depth for a little while, and they mean so much to me. And it's all about life force and the purpose of life, in my estimation, being about the creation of memory. The reflection here is you are made of memory. Rosemary whispers the memories of this lifetime, but she can also remind us of kitchens of generations past and the scent of camphor mixing with sea air. Our DNA has travelled through millennia. When we think of memory, we focus on the people we ourselves have known, grandparents, great aunts, cousins twice removed, etc. Our thoughts tend to be based on personality, experience, likes or dislikes. Rosemary asks us instead to travel beyond those associations, to feel for the memory that lives in the twisting threads of our chromosomes. This is what it means to honour our ancestors and be rooted into our history. What if your bones are ancient bedrock and your laugh the wild wind? What if you are not only an individual, but the present incarnation in a long lineage? Remember. The quote here is Barbara Kingsolver, Animal Dreams. Memory is a complicated thing, a relative to truth, but not its twin. Ooh, gosh, I like this. Ritual, honour your ancestral memory. Rosemary's magic lies in her scent and the volatile oil hidden in her leaves. Science has affirmed the smell of rosemary's essential oil enhances memory. And here's how that works. When you inhale memory, her vaporous oil cross through the mucous membranes in your nose and enter your bloodstream. Recall is significantly improved with rosemary flowing through your veins. You can get a good whiff of rosemary by crushing leaves between your fingers or by rubbing a drop of rosemary essential oil on your palms. Then, hold your hands over your nose and inhale for a few minutes. Notice how you feel. To remember your lineage, connect with your ancestral past through free writing, and here's how to do so. Grab a notebook and set a timer for 10 minutes. Below is a prompt to start writing. After you read it, begin writing and don't stop until your timer goes off. I can guarantee you might feel silly or lost or confused for the first 3 minutes. You might feel as though you are making things up and you don't know what to write, but keep writing anyway. At a certain part, your ego steps aside and magic begins to happen. The magical prompt is to write, "Dear name of ancestor," or just simply ancestor if you don't know their name. "I'm working to deepen my ancestral tie. Is there anything you'd like to share with me?" Now start writing, and you will find that soon you are answering in the written voice of your ancestor. Oh, there is so much to unpack here for the month of March. Wow. So this is a deeply spiritual month for you this month, darlings. It is to do with memory, the creation of memory, the reconnection into things. And so it's very interesting that the crow energy is on the card, but is not addressed in the booklet. So I'm going to address that on top of what we've already read here. So crow to me, of course, is associated with the Morrigan, whom is my mother goddess. But it can be associated with the spirit of the crow itself, and it can be associated with other deity too, if that is where you naturally resonate. But crows are said to see, in mythology, are said to see past, present and future all at the same time. They're like timekeepers, memory keepers. They're outside of time. They're also said to be psychopomps, and they can cross over into the other world and deliver messages between the land of the living and the land of the dead. And they're also said to carry souls across in this way too. So they help the dead to reach their next generation, but although maybe that was a slip that needs to be said, their destination in life. And maybe that is true. Maybe there is that honouring of the next generation by their death. The ancestor needs to die, and so the next generations can live. So there is that interesting crossover here, and there's also the wind here. And the wind was mentioned a little teeny bit in the booklet, but that wild wind of messages, and messages coming into your life that aren't necessarily written down. So we have wings, we have air, we have breath, we have memory, we have the intangible. And that is going to be all about your intuition this month. It's going to be learning to listen to the messages around you in the world, and really allow yourself to tap in and harness that which you are understanding in a spiritual context. It may be that you have to read between the lines in certain situations, and look for prompts and things which are not necessarily what you thought they were going to be. It's not very tangible in this Piscean energy for you, which makes sense because, sometimes the watery energy can be a little bit more difficult for us earth signs. But you can really feel into it, and your senses will be massively heightened. Your psychic senses are going to be on fire, particularly in this memory aspect. But I personally think memory is the thread, the red thread, that ties everything together. And look at how, this is tied to your index finger. You have the power this month to really understand, to tap in, to have that heightened awareness, to get your priestess self on, your witch self on, whatever you want to call it. And you can really make magic with that, because the more tapped in you are, the more access you might have to all this spiritual knowledge that you didn't think you had. And that means that you can grow this month. You can really sort of get into some learning, because, all of this air energy surrounding. You can really take on information. You can learn things. You can trust your intuition this month. And that's kind of amazing. I'm kind of excited for you. I think you're going to see leaps and bounds and growth in places that you hadn't even thought of, whilst balancing that with remembrance, to remember. So it may also be a side lesson in remember who you are, very Lion King, but remembering of your strength, of your power, of your passion for life, and of your intelligence. So don't let anyone take that away from you either. And you're going to be absolutely having it this month. So I'm really excited for you. Congratulations, that's a great month. Wonderful. So if you would like to hear any more, you can, of course, on Patreon. We have a weekly reading every single week of a tarot and oracle card where we set the energies for the week, and we have been doing for 5 years at this point. And if you're on the correct tier, you can have a personal in-depth reading tailor-made for you. So I hope you enjoy your month, my darlings. Many blessings, and I will talk to you soon.